Biniam Girmay has now won 2 stages in the Tour de France. In this year's edition, the 2024 edition, no team has won 2 stages so far in this race, and his team, Intermarché, has done so. Today, he gave them their 2nd win in the race. Stage 8, following up stage 3, where he won in Torino in Italy, becoming the first Eritrean to ever win a stage in the Tour, the first black cyclist to ever win a stage in the Tour. And today, he doubled on that. He showed he's a force, and he's a force among the sprinters and one of the star favorite sprinters. 24 years old, he had complete dedication from his Intermarché team to win right here behind us on the sprint into a headwind and throwing his arms up for victory, and doing so securing more points in the green jersey competition for best sprinter. And with that, he's well on his way to possibly winning the green jersey. We still have 2 more weeks to go and a lot more racing action, but let's unfold everything that happened to get to this point where Girmay scored his 2nd win in history in the Tour de France and a 2nd win in the 2024 edition. It was a long, hard stage, made worse by the rain coming down. 5 categorized climbs. We had 2 Cat 3, 3 Cat 4 climbs, and right from the gun, EF Education Easy Post, as promised, went on the attack. Nilson Powless, the American, told me this morning that he was going to do it. He was going to go on the attack. All of the teammates were going to try today, and he got away with Stefan Bessiger. Those 2, and yeah, one of the most widely viewed riders in this year's edition because he's always on the attack, Jonas Abrahamsen. Those 3 would go free. Abrahamsen would be picking up the points along the way. Soon after, even though they were on a good one, we got the call from back in the car in the EF pink Cadillac. EF Education decided to pull back its riders, Bessinger and Powless. They didn't think that escape was going to make it to the line, and they were probably right, with just 3 riders and the sprint teams wanting to control things for a possible sprint, even though it was a hard day out there with the rain, with the wind, and the climbs on tap, at least in the first 2/3 of the stage. Powless, Bessiger back. It was all up to Abrahamsen, the Norwegian rider in the polka dot jersey, and he's enjoying every moment of it. Well, he did it. He got a gap at one point up to 6 minutes, but we knew it was a suicide mission. The teams behind were controlling things, and as we got closer and closer to the line, passing all the climbs, here in Colombe, Les Deux Églises, and of course this is a little town with population, not more over 200 people, but it's home of Charles de Gaulle. You might know for the Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, but he was the late great general and then the French president of France here. Well, this is the place where he came from, and we're east of Paris, to give you an idea, and just a little bit south of the Champagne region where we'll be tomorrow in Troyes. Well, Abrahamsen's day would soon be coming to an end, but behind there was a lot of stress and a lot of chaos. At 67 kilometers to go, we saw a small crash that involved Warren Barguil. About 3 riders went down, and then later on we saw Bettiol had a puncture. Sam Bennett, the sprinter from Decathlon, was dropped. I think he worked his way back up before we got to the eventual sprint. The gap was going down and down. Team Ineos, Lidl Trek, EF Education, they were all at the front. We also saw Team Lotto and Israel working at the front as well, and they eventually swept up Abrahamsen. Now I want to take a moment to explain some news, some unfortunate news over in the Tour of Austria, because there on the descent today, one of the riders, a Norwegian rider, crashed and died. Andre Drage. He hit the ground on the descent. We hear that he had a puncture, I think on his front tire, crashed, and then it was reported at the end of the stage he died, passed away. Unfortunate news, especially for Abrahamsen and all the Norwegian team Uno X. When Christoph heard at the finish line, he was upset, all the team was upset, so we send our warmest regards out to the family and out to the Norwegian fans. Turning our attention back over to the sprint. In the final kilometer, it was Team Cofidis setting things up to Brian Coquard, doing an excellent lead out. Now Team Intermarché had already placed Biniam Girmay there in the green jersey, the first Eritrean to ever win and wear the green jersey, placing Girmay on the wheels of the Cofidis train. And they had 2 riders up front, setting up Brian Coquard. Girmay rode that in. Now we saw over on the right-hand side, we saw Søren Kragh Andersen from Team Alpecin de Koenig doing the lead out today for Jasper Philipsen. Matthew van der Poel wasn't up for it today, so they gave it over to Søren Kragh Andersen to do the lead out. And we also saw the Belgian jersey from Team Lotto Destiny, Arnaud de Lee, working his way up and really charging hard. At that point, Jasper Philipsen, yes, he was doing a clean sprint today. He was coming close to Girmay. Girmay was on the left, and they were both pushing hard towards the line. Girmay gets it right on the line, throws his hands up, more points to the green jersey. Arnaud de Lee, frankly, he might have had the stage win here in his debut Tour de France, but the gap for him closed out right as he was charging ahead. Pascal Ackermann, it was a head-up photo finish between Ackermann and de Lee. De Lee got the third place, Ackermann got fourth, second was Philipsen, but the news of the day was Biniam Girmay winning his second stage win in this year's Tour de France. And speaking over there to the team, Intermarché, they were explaining that Girmay just has confidence, really going in to this Tour de France, and they pinpointed these Saturday and Sunday stages, today and tomorrow's Sunday stage. Winning stage 3 early on, well, that surely helped with the morale. And already I noticed, speaking with Girmay in the mornings every day, when in the interviews, he has much more confidence than we saw in 2023. And that confidence is not only in the way he comports himself in the interviews and with the rest of the press and with the other cyclists, but also on the bike. It's showing more confidence. And now think about it, 2 stage wins in this 2024 Tour de France. He's now the sprinter to watch when we go into sprints. Who would have thought 24-year-old Girmay already had won a stage in the Giro d'Italia, already had won Gent-Wevelgem, making history there, making history here in the Tour de France, heading up stage 8 here in the home of Charles de Gaulle. And we already spoke about the top 4. 5th went to Marijn van der Berg. We saw an excellent lead-out work from Sean Quinn, EF Education there in the U.S. National Championship jersey, working for van der Berg. EF Education, when they pulled back Bessager and Paulus, they were thinking about van der Berg, trying to do the sprint with him. He pulled off 5th for the day. Ryan Givens, with Mads Pedersen deciding to pull the plug on his Tour de France after the crash a few days ago. Ryan Gibbons, the South African champion, went for the sprint today, picking up 6th. Anthony Turgis there in 7th. Fred Wright there in 8th. Alex Aramburu 9th. And Remco Evenepoel in 10th. So we saw some GC guys up there, because also our race leader, Tadej Pogačar, in 13th. At the end of our 8th day of racing, 1 week after we began this race, in Florence, Italy, we're now up here in the heart of France, and it's Biniam Girmay throwing his hands up, celebrating another stage win.